Hi everyone, I'm Allison, a yoga therapist in Davidson, North Carolina, and this is Hank. And today we're gonna do a level 2-3 diastasis recti video. So I had a lot of people writing in the comments asking for more exercises, more things they could be doing and mindful movements to help with sort of rebuilding the core after diastasis recti. So these would be great exercises at 1.5 or less finger distance that you can start adding into your own home practice. And if you don't know what that 1.5 or under finger distance is, please check out the level 1, the very first video that we sort of put out on diastasis recti up on this channel. All right, let's get started. Midway through, you may want a blanket or a pillow, and that'll just pad your knees. Feel free to just push pause on the video or to go ahead and grab that now if you want that extra tool. All right, so we're going to get started, and hopefully Hank will move out of the way and be a good doggy. And we're going to get started on our backs. So go ahead and lie down, right? Core is engaged, so we're engaging Mula Bandha, which means that we're sort of pulling in and upward lifting belly lock, right? Feet are going to come up. So we're at a 90-degree angle here in our knees. And we're just going to do 10 toe touches. So nice touch down and come back up. And the key here is really slow, really mindful movement. You may even rest your hands on your lower abdomen so that you can sort of feel your core engaging here. You might inhale, touch the toe, exhale, pulling up, and really engaging the core, moving slowly, using the full span of your breath, the full span of your inhale and your exhale. Mindful movement. Good. Let this next one be your last. I've lost count. And go ahead and hug your knees in towards your chest. You may use the weight of your legs to massage out your lower back, being really gentle with yourself. And with this whole practice, if anything that we do or anything I suggest doesn't feel right for you, or it feels like too much in your body, please make sure you're listening to your body. We really want to be mindful in our practice to make sure that we're honoring our body, listening to our body, and you can always come back and revisit some of the exercises later if you want. But if something doesn't feel good for you, feel free to push pause, stop, and skip that pose. All right, the next one is going to be some frog legs. So we're going to have our sort of feet together here, engaging the core again. So we're sort of that nice belly lock here. And the feet are going to extend out so the heels touch and come back in. So there's a few options for this. Sort of to lessen some of the sensation, you can go more vertical, more towards the ceiling, right? Extending out, pulling in. To make it a little more challenging, you can increase the angle, right? And then to go really challenging, a nice low version of this. It's a little bit challenging. So pick whichever variation feels right for you. You could also do it in 3s. So extending out, coming in, extending out, coming in, hitting all 3 levels. Choose whatever variation feels right for you. Extending out, exhaling in, inhale out, exhale in. Slow, mindful movement. You might start to feel it. I know I'm feeling it a little bit here. Good, let's do one more. Extending out, coming in, And hugging the knees in, gentle rocks forward and backward, side to side, using the weight of the legs to massage out the lower back, hips, and sacrum. Good. Now for this one, we're gonna come back to that nice 90-degree angle. So 90-degree angle with our ankles, with our knees. And we're just gonna do 10 to either side. So we're gonna sort of sweep as if you're going, your right heel's gonna drop towards your right glute and then slowly sweep along the floor. I'm just hovering above the floor, so I'm not actually touching the floor, and then it's gonna come back up and meet up with your left leg. So that was one on the right side. So sweep and up, sweep and up. As you press out, you can inhale. As you pull in, exhale. Mindful movement. Going as slow as feels right for you, but really making sure you can maintain a relationship with your breath here. So mindful movement, slow, deliberate movements, listening to your body. If anything feels like too much, just pushing pause. Last one. Good, release, hug your knees in. Gentle rocking, side to side, gentle movements. Good. Go ahead and bring the soles of your feet back to the mat, and we want our feet apart, knees together, right? And this is a little bit of a subtle sort of posture here because you're not gonna really be moving your legs. It's sort of an isometric movement as if you're gonna lift your feet up. And this is really great for strengthening the muscles between the hips, and it sort of helps to protect our lower back. So we're building some of these deep internal muscles. So your knees are together, feet are apart, and we're just gonna, as if, pretend you're lifting your feet off. So from here, it looks like I'm not doing anything, but I really feel this in sort of the low abdomen, just between sort of my hip bones. We're gonna do this 10 times. So lifting up, exhale, release and soften. Inhale, imagine that you're lifting up, holding that. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift. And we're not really lifting when I say lift, it's a pretend lift. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. 4 more to your own pace. So sort of that isometric lift, imagining you're lifting and softening. Imagining that you're lifting and softening. Imagine that you're lifting and softening. 1 more. Good. It might feel good to just let your knees rock side to side, windshield wiper the knees, softening in the lower back, softening through the hips and the lower abdomen. Now we're going to move towards the obliques and the sides of the abs here. So to do this, we're going to sort of come up to a side plank. And so let's break this down because there's lots of different variations of how this can look. So one variation can be, if we start at tabletop, one variation is to keep our right wrist and right knee still in line and just press those left toes back and let them roll to the side. So your left foot is sort of parallel with the back of your mat. Your right knee is sort of under your right hip, And when you reach up, your left shoulder stacks over the right shoulder and the right wrist. Okay, so that's variation 1. This is probably gonna be sort of the least stressful variation, so maybe like least amount of stress on your body, a little bit easier to be here. So if you're not feeling super comfortable, super confident in this pose, you might start here. Another variation that adds a little bit more heat is to sort of go full side plank, right? That's a lot. My arm's shaking too. All right, another variation is to do side plank from your elbow. So coming down here. So 3 different variations. This is sort of like a medium level, right? Pick whichever variation you can breathe in. If you're doing this and you're holding your breath, it might be a little bit too much. I'm gonna stick with sort of a medium level variation because I still wanna be able to breathe and talk, right? So just listen to your body, honor what's gonna feel right for you. The movement we're gonna have is an inhale with the left fingertips reaching up and an exhale with them sort of twisting in. As with all our other poses, we're still in that sort of nice core engaged. So Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, we're sort of pulling in and up with the belly. So that's a nice sort of belly lock there. Okay, we're gonna do 10. So coming up to whichever variation feels right for you, inhale up, exhale through. Inhale lifts up, exhale through. 3, 4, fingertips are lifting and then tucking. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Come on down. Take a rest. Take a pause. Notice what it feels like in your body. Can you feel any difference on the right and the left side? Maybe you sort of are aware in your right shoulder of sensation. Maybe you're aware in your hips and your legs from holding you up. Just notice what feels right for you. How did that feel? We're gonna switch to the other side, and I wanna give you permission to not have to be symmetrical. Most human bodies aren't actually that symmetrical because of just repetitive patterns of movement. So if you can do one variation on one side, but another variation feels better for you on the other side, just listen to your body. Make sure you're honoring your body. So I'm going to take a different variation on this side so you can sort of see that. We're going to do 10 again. So remember your options, right? We've got the full sort of side plank situation here. We've got the option to come down to our knee. And we've also got the option to be here on our elbow. Okay, so find your variation. I'm going to start with my knee here. So remember, for this variation, my knee and my wrist are in alignment, and I'm pressing through the outer edge of my right foot. We'll do 10. Inhales, lift your fingertips up as if they're floating up on a balloon. Exhales, twisting in. Inhale up. Exhale, twist. Inhale up. Exhale, twist. And if you took one variation on one side, you might try something different on this side just to see, where do you feel it? Like for me, I sort of noticed that because I'm not worried about staying up in a plank here, that I can really feel those sort of obliques working here. Good. Nice, slow, mindful movement. Inhale, lift. Exhale in. And the movements are really slow and controlled, right? So that we can really feel what the practice is doing in our body. Last one. Good. Come back down. And we're gonna come back to sort of hands and knees here. So this is where you may wanna have a pillow or a blanket just to support and prop up your knee. And we're still in this sort of obliques, our sides of our abs here that we're working. All right. So we're gonna take a modified sort of crescent lunge here. So the left knee might be on the ground or on a pillow or on a blanket. And the right leg's gonna come forward. So whenever we're in a sort of lunge or a warrior, any sequence like that, we wanna be mindful that the knee never goes past the ankle. So just check in, make sure your big toe, you can still see it. The knee sort of tracks out towards the pinky toe, but the knee doesn't go past the ankle. So engage your core, again, from that sort of top of your pubic bone to your belly button. We're sort of zipping in here, and in an upward movement. Hands are gonna come just to sort of the base of your spine. You could also just touch your shoulders. You could crisscross your arms, whatever feels best for you. Arms could be out, so lots of variations here. And on an exhale, we're just gonna twist. And I'm bringing my gaze towards my right elbow. Inhale forward. Exhale, twist. Inhale forward. Exhale, twist. Good. We'll do 10. I think this is number 4. Move to your own pace. Exhale, twist. Inhale forward. Good. After your 10, just sort of bringing your hands down, coming back to hands and knees. Take a moment and tune into your abs. Can you sort of feel any differences between the right side and the left side? If it feels good, you could just let your hips move side to side. Take any movements that feel good for you, honoring your body. And we'll switch sides. So you might pad that right knee. And just another nice trick whenever you're on hands and knees, you can always sort of create a little bit of a cocoon, almost like a circle, more of a circular shape, so that your knee has somewhere to rest in there. So that might also feel good if you're getting any sort of knee pressure, to just make a little bit more of a circular shape with it rather than just have it be flat. It looks a little more messy, but sometimes it feels really nice on your knee. Okay, so we're coming up to this modified crescent lunge. Core is engaged. Your tailbone's nice and long, so notice the option to sort of tilt your pelvic bowl forward. When we're doing this, we want to imagine that our pelvis is carrying a bowl of water, so the pelvic bowl is nice and centered. Tailbone long, pubic bone sort of lifts. Hands can come up to either behind your head or out to the side, touching your shoulders, lots of options here. Be mindful that left knee doesn't go over your ankle or past your ankle here. And exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. See how slow you can move, taking up the full span of your exhale and the full span of your inhale. Two more. Whew. Good. Release back down, coming back to hands and knees. Take a little bit of movement side to side. Good, and we're gonna move this out of the way here and come all the way onto our bellies. So we're gonna take sort of a variation on a Cobra. When we're doing a Cobra, and you can start with your hands on the mat, we're also gonna have an option to take your hands off the mat. When your hands are on the mat, imagine that you're sort of pushing down and trying to pull back like that. So we're sort of moving backwards. That helps to pull the chest forward and to sort of engage your shoulders and back in a different way than just letting your hand rest. So that's an option. Palms come down by your lower ribs, elbows coming in towards each other, so your shoulders are kind of coming together. And I know you're probably looking up at me right now, but once you engage and kind of get what you're doing, keep your gaze down. So straight down, looking at your mat, crown of your head goes forward, Cobra. Exhale, soften. Inhale, palms press down and back. Head lifts. Nice long gaze. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Okay, so that's one variation. Another option is to bring your palms out in front of you. And this time we're going to add our feet. So we're sort of inhale, lifting up. Feet kind of come up and off the mat. Palms come back. Palms face the ground so that you're sort of rotating your shoulders up. Exhale, come back down. Rest. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. And this is engaging the lower back in a big way. So if it's too much in your back, just make sure you're listening to your body. Last one, up and down. Go ahead and rest. Maybe wiggle your booty a little bit so that you're loosening in the lower back. And we're going to press up and back to child's pose. So pushing up, engaging back, hips towards your heels. If that's too much, you can always keep your hips high for puppy dog, forehead rests. So whichever variation feels good for you, just sort of releasing in the lower back here. Take a couple breaths. Good. We're going to make our way onto our spines now. Okay. And this is in some of the other videos for diastasis recti that we've done together, so you should be pretty familiar with it, right? So 90-degree angle, and we're going to just take those twists. So knees, palms might be out on the ground, arms long to sort of stabilize you, but on an exhale, your knees are going to twist to the left. Right? Maybe they touch the ground, maybe they hover. Inhale comes back to center. Exhale to the right. Slow, mindful movement. The slower you go, the more you're sort of engaging your core. And you're also a lot less likely to harm yourself unintentionally in your practice, because you can sort of feel when something doesn't feel quite right, and you can stop or pause the practice there. So nice, slow, mindful movement. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. One more to either side. And know that you can always push pause on this video and add more repetitions just based on what you feel like your body's needing. Good. Go ahead and rest. Relaxing your feet down. And we'll take Savasana. So you could let your legs go long if that feels good. You could take Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees apart. Whatever feels best for you for Savasana. Maybe just bring one hand to your heart, one to your belly, wherever you choose to be. You could lower, close your eyes if that feels good to you. Just allowing yourself to settle in, honoring your body in this moment for all of the wonderful things it does for you. See if you can tune in to the beat of your heart and the rise and fall of your breath. Tuning in to that life force moving through you. And inviting in a sense of gentle compassion, non-judgmental awareness, loving kindness into your body for all of the wonderful things that it does for you. And from that place of gratitude, just bringing the soles of your feet back to the mat. Slowly and mindfully rolling to one side. And beginning to press your way back up. Finding a comfortable seated position. Just take a moment to tune in and notice what you feel in your body. I invite you to listen or join as we close with one sound of Om. Taking a deep breath in. Om. May all beings be happy and free from suffering, free from the roots of suffering, beginning with us here today. Let's honor the light in each other by bowing forward and saying Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. And if you have any questions or concerns about the video, please don't hesitate to put a comment underneath this video and I'll respond as soon as I can. If you found this video and the other videos on this site helpful and supportive, please make sure to like and subscribe to this page so you can stay up to date on all the latest videos and content that we're putting out. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a lovely day.